So let's say I want to make a gun. So the second part of this project, the three pieces, I want to create stuff. Now the goal is, I don't want you to use like 3 letters. The more you add to this, the more detail you add, the better it comes out. Now the problem is that with text, text is a vector tool, is a vector thing. So I can blow this R up to the size of the World Trade Center, and that line is just going to stay just as sharp as it can be, right down to the single pixel, which is what we see here. All right. So, but to use it as an artistic thing, I can come over here and I can right click in here, and that does absolutely nothing. Yay, it's Monday. Layer. All right, so I can go to layer, rasterize type. What that does is you'll see that this layer here will become a raster layer. There you go. So we've lost the T, but now the trick here is I can now treat this R like any other graphic. So I can position it, shape it, transform it, you know, whatever I want to do to get the effects and shapes that I want. And now just changing the format from vector to raster. Now you can, and I don't know that I've talked about this, so I'm going to talk about it real fast. This is the history palette. The history palette is a powerful tool in Photoshop. So what it does is it remembers like the last 25, 30 things that you've done. I know you can adjust that and change it. But the real advantage of it is it's like a time machine. If I say, oh, I've screwed up and I want to go back, I can go back in time. Now, here's what happens. This is just like if you build a time machine and you went and you shot Hitler. Everything that happens after that is gonna be different. So let's move forward just a little bit. All right. So if you notice right here, it says rasterize type or whatever. So now if I come over and I say edit, transform, scale. And now it says free transform from the move. So everything that happened after the move is now different. Now you can take a photo of a spot. So like if I went here and I took a photo, it would create another one of these up here, and I could go back to. These are basically like key points. So like if I really want to try something, but I don't want to get messed up and I don't want to risk messing up my piece, I can create a point and then go up here and then snapshot one. And I can rename it just like the little, I don't know why I've got the pinwheel of death today. I don't know what is up. But I could rename it first try. Now I use this a lot, like when I'm doing a project and I want to save a copy and send it to a client. I will at this point say if I've got like, all right, so I'm at this point, I'm done. I can always back up here and say, or no, I do this. I say I'm done, I'm here. And I say image. I can do image size. I can adjust the image size. Now this is part of the assignment, was for y'all to resize them and turn them in as JPEGs. The reason why is because you don't want to send your client a 300 DPI right-sized image, because if they haven't paid you yet, you've handed them the product. And so if they figure that out, they may not pay you, and you'll be like, oops. So what I'll do is I'll adjust the size. Now, if this is locked, it changes it accordingly. So If it's 18 inches height and I want it to be exactly the same without having to do the math, and then I can go in and change it to 72. You'll see this number right here, 820K is kilobytes. That is tiny. 225 megabytes is what? 1000K makes 1 megabyte. So yeah, that's a lot bigger. And you get into gigabytes, so you'll have some pieces that'll be like 2G, and then it's like, man, that's a big image. It works really slow. You'll get the pinwheel of death, which I don't know why I'm getting the pinwheel of death. But also, like my email, I can't send you or receive more than a 5 megabyte file in its entirety. The whole email can't be more than 5 megabytes. So this is a way to send stuff to clients or to each other, or that doesn't have, that can go through the email pretty easily. So resizing it. Well, let's say I do this. The problem is now I have a much smaller document. And if the client comes back and says, oh, well, you spelled my R wrong, it should have been uppercase R or something like that, it's flattened. Wait, no, I've resized it. Layer, flatten image. So this way I'm not sending, I can send them file, save as, and I can save it as a JPEG. Right here, I can change the format to JPEG. Now, JPEG, PNG, these are all good because they can be opened in things like photo preview or any kind of Adobe, or not Adobe, but Windows preview software. So that makes it easier for the client to open them up and look at it and to give you any adjustments. But once I save it as a JPEG, and I'll rename it, I'll name it something like, you know, type project, I spelled project wrong, small. I always put in some kind of indicator to realize that, so I know I don't have to open I don't have to open both of them to find the right one if I need to go back and work on it. And I usually always create a folder that I'm keeping everything in. And I'm a slob in real life, but on the computer, for whatever reason, I'm just OCD. So if I save that down as a JPEG, and I come back over here and I want to keep working on it, I can go back to my history and go back past the image size and the flattened image. So now when I go to save it, and I want to save it as a PSD, it goes back to PSD as the default. If I'd saved it as a JPEG and was still working on the JPEG, it would default to the JPEG. So file format is all important. PSD keeps the layers, keeps all the stuff separated like this. If you flatten the image, that's great because then people don't get your layers, they don't get all your stuff. They can just ask and make adjustments. Questions? Now, I've gone over quite a bit as far as the tech stuff goes today. We've recapped some of the masking stuff. As far as the project goes, all of these are, yes, the clipboard is too big to leave. So on the assignment, it basically says 3 pieces of art and it gives you the size. So you can adjust the size. And then a 4th piece is a poster. Think about, when we think about text and we think about posters and we think about what people get from it, people are inherently lazy. So if you think about posters as far as what you're designing for, say, a hallway or a classroom, wherever, for people to come see your show, you want to keep it, you want the title to be catchy, big, and clear. A lot of times people will use like those chrome letters and stuff like that, but that's hard to read. So you want it to be a clear message, and you want it to be something that's going to catch their eye. It could be like death by typography, and then, you know, by Jonathan Chestnut in the Rosenthal Gallery, blah, 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 blah. Give me a time, a place, a date, just kind of project whatever. You could say the Louvre for all I care. I mean, just, you know, have fun with it. It's kind of just an imaginary piece, but it's about showing me using text as a command tool. All right. Questions?